what shame. General Kaguta Museveni came out to pick his nomination form so that he can run for the, I think, sixth term. Okay? It is a shame that he's now coming out to pick his nomination as the NRM chairman. General Museveni is now leading us. Now he's coming to 40 years, and he's 80 years. The years he has lived as a person are very many more than the years he's left with. And at such a point, we would expect transition, because one of the biggest problems of Uganda is transition. We've never transited from one person to another without fighting. And it even scares me to say this, that I'm seeing trouble ahead. I'm seeing a civil war. I'm seeing the army fighting each other because the army has been broken down in cocoons. Okay? General Museveni came out to pick his nomination, and he made us a maiden speech that is going to fight corruption, which I think he cannot deliver. The things that General Museveni did were right or wrong cannot be added on anymore, except undoing even the simple small good things he had. Even if you give him more 100 years, there is nothing General Museveni can add on. Before I proceed, let me play a tape when General Museveni was speaking his nomination. Here's the tape.
I have decided that I come forward and see how to escort the Bazukuru and their parents forward for another 5 years. And in this time, I want us really to wipe out corruption. Because this corruption should not be there. Because you are in charge. Remember, the NRM, when it came into government, gave you power to elect people at all levels. LOC ones, you have just elected. You have just elected the NRM structures. You are going to elect the national ones. You have already started with the youth and some of the other groups. Now, when you elect, those people you elect should be your namparas, should be your overseers in each area. Because corruption happens where? Does it happen in Congo or does it happen here? It is here. In a parish, in a sub-county, in a town. Why do you allow it to happen? Why don't you check? Ensure that the local health center is working well. The drugs are not stolen. Ensuring that the PDM money which is sent to the parish is all delivered. This can be done because you have the power. You are the ones who elected the LOC1, LOC2, LOC3. You are the ones who elected them. Elect those people who can do that on your behalf. The members of parliament. Don't accept money from anybody to elect him. Elect him because he can be, or she can be, a good nampara. To ensure that your interests the interests of the area are well protected. Then you come to the government people. Even on my side, there's some issue. Because the RDC is appointed by me. Then you have the DISO, who is appointed by intelligence. Then you have the GISO. Why don't all these fight corruption? What are they doing? Why does corruption persist when all these are there? So in the coming Sanja, let's really ensure that we get rid of corruption so that we get maximum value from the money we have in the country.
That is General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. We must ask ourselves, why is he picking the nomination at 8 years? First of all, there was a scheme of bringing his son Moses Kalugaba to take over from him, and he tested the waters. When he tested the waters, they realized that General Moses lacks the intellectual capacity to take over the nation, lacks the support from within the masses. That's why he resorts from selling fear, abducting people, teaching them in Runyankore in the basement. General Moses does not even speak any local language, including his own mother tongue. Even when he went to Ankole sub-region, he spoke English. That's one of the biggest weaknesses of General Moses Kalugaba. So it prompted even more General Museveni to remove his nomination. That would not be the problem. But the problem is removing nomination, yet you curtail others from moving across the country, from setting their agenda. That's my only problem. If General Museveni thinks he's a man and a half, he should, first of all, respect the constitution, but also respect multipartyism. Do you know that 1 year before election, anyone is allowed to move across the country for consultation, but none in the opposition is doing that? Because whenever they move out, there's a lot of tear gas, they arrest their supporters, and whenever an opposition politician moves out in a bid to look for votes, he puts his supporters in the risk of being shot at, in the risk of being abducted, in the risk of being tried in a court-martial. If General Museveni truly believes in a democracy, why doesn't he allow free, credible elections to happen? Part of the reason as to why General Museveni went to the bush is electoral malfunction. Okay? Stealing of the votes. That was the main issue. That was the trigger, although there were other things, but that was the trigger. But he continues to do exactly what he fought against. There was Panda Gali today, there are drones. There were killings today, there are killings, bila mpango. Okay? So for me, I keep on telling people that even those who want General Museveni to stay in power, it's 8 years, he may not hold on to power as you assume. But remember, the country is on his shoulders because he failed to build institutions which could take us as a nation. And the day he will go with our nation. That is the sad story. All countries which fail act like we are doing, and we are keeping a deaf ear. Thank you very much for listening in. Peace.
Yes, Kabuye Sulaiman Mawagali. I am putting in my request to fly the NUP flag high in Makinde East constituency, so that I can represent the great people of Makinde East. Nkomyewo omulundi ogwokubiri n'obwongo nga bwesera nga busera. Ebiwandiiko byange mbirese bibino.
Sigadde nze Mr. Makindi Kabuye Sulaiman Mawagali kantu ene guno omukisa okubategeeza mbu ngenda kwesimba okuwa MP Makindi East 2026 nesimbawo luli era nkomawo bataata bamaama basenga bajjajja okubasaba akalulu. Makindi East ediridde nnyo emabega okumala emyaka 2 okuva omugenzi Sebana we yagenda. Yonsanga lwaki buli mukulembeze ajja tumuwayo ekisanja kimu kubanga tukola ensobi. Abakulembeze ba Makindi East okumala emyaka 15 buli we baranking abakulembeze abakozi b'omu parliament abatakyasinze okwogera babeeramu 2 abasemba. Ebyo bintu birina okwogerwa. twetaaga omukulembeze ng'alina obwongo nga bwesera nga busera. Twetaaga omukulembeze nga fayita, si bano bajooka. Bw'oba ng'ogenda saabalira ku mazzi ne baleeta eryato ly'ebbumba ne baleeta ne speed boat, tosobola kukwata lyato lya bbumba ogenda osaabale kubanga lijja kunywa amazzi obbire bassebo ne bannyabo. Oba olina kulondawo speed boat efubutuka kaweewo ekusomese mangu. Nze Kabuye Sulaiman Mawaggali, nze speed boat. Bannaye munonde muninnye nsooke mbasaabaze ku speed ey'ekizungirizi. Eddoboozi lyaffe libadde teriwulirwa. Kyekiseera mu 2026 mulonde nze kamwa kwogera Kabuye Sulaiman Mawaggali alina eddoboozi eryamwanguka ajoyimirira ku palamenti ayanje ensonga mu beesimbyewo bonna bassebo ne bannyabo. Teri ansinga kwanja nsonga. Abaneesimbyeko bonna baneegomba olw'engeri gye njogeramu, olw'engeri gye nnambika ensonga. Gw'oba okiwakana, eno YouTube yange sooka ogiraba ogifollowing ogisharing, olabe ne vidiyo eziriko engeri gye nnambika ensonga. Kuba mwaka faananyi nga ndi ku folo ya palamenti nga ngamba Mr. Speaker sa wa Madam Speaker sa waliwo asobola ogaana okuwulira. So mu 2026 tetukola era ne mulonda omulala atali Kabuye Sulaiman Mawaggali. Musibe bulungi, mweraba. Peace.
Mpala na wala kusaba kibuze mpala na bulungi wadi abampala no bulungi nange benjagala obulungi.